Hi, I'm Michelle Birdsall, and I'm here with Robert Wunderlich, ITE's International President. Robert's going to share some of his thoughts today about some of the current challenges our members are facing and how ITE is helping us meet those challenges. Robert, the recession continues to impact our members, especially in the United States. How is ITE working to help our members cope with the impacts of the recession?
Well, first, Michelle, I want everyone to understand that I recognize the challenges that we're all facing. I don't think there's any member that doesn't know someone that's either lost their job or had to make a transition to another firm or another agency as part of this economic downturn. So we are all in this together. And as part of that, ITE has waived dues for those members that have lost their jobs, and until they are able to find another position, we'll continue to do that. And we've also provided free position wanted ads as part of our website to help those people that are in need of a change to find a new position. Also, we as a board and a staff have made efforts to trim the costs of running the organization itself. We froze dues for 2 years and only had a nominal increase this past year. So there have been cuts in the staff here at ITE as well, and we're really looking at keeping our registration fees the same for our conferences and still continuing to provide the value that our people need.
And despite the recession, the public continues to have high expectations that the transportation system must fulfill. How do you cope with this challenge in your agency, and how would you recommend our members meet these challenges?
Well, that's right. I was speaking to the students at the ITE student reception last night during TRB, and I was saying that even though there's less revenue to deal with, really the expectations of the public doesn't change. And so we've had to make some adjustments in Garland, in my agency. One of the things that we've taken advantage of is that we don't do as much new development review, and we're not working out thorny access issues and how to change the system to accommodate new development. Well, that's bad in a way, but it's also let us divert some staff resources to other areas that we still need to continue to provide to the public. One of the other things that I think is that really sometimes the public is asking us to take a little different perspective. They want their transportation system to really meet other community goals like economic development and mobility for all users, and looking at some new things like that. In Garland, we've been working with the private sector to put a transit-oriented design, and we changed the road system in order to do that. We've just gotten a grant to do a new bikeway. So the public is asking for a little bit different things than what we've been providing in the past. And the way ITE is helping us do that is by providing the resources that help us with innovative ideas from around the world. We've just published a recommended practice on walkable thoroughfares, which uses a context-sensitive approach to try to meet other community goals with our transportation improvements, but not compromise safety or mobility at the same time. Those are the kinds of things that ITE is providing, and we're drawing on resources from around the world to do that.
Absolutely. And what do you think the importance then is of the world community to an Institute member in, say, Topeka?
Well, that Institute Topeka is like the one in Garland. He can learn from people around the world. A few years ago, we had a terrible accident problem along one of our roadways, and we were looking at roundabouts as something to do, and we eventually did implement one. Well, Michelle, it turned out to be one of the less popular things that I've ever done, and we were really receiving a lot of negative feedback. I was able to call Andy O'Brien in Australia and talk with him about roundabouts, and he is one of the world's experts on that. And he assured me that what we were doing was just fine and was going to work and was in keeping with the kinds of installations that had been done in Australia and around the world that really did work. And Michelle, eventually the furor died down, and since that time we haven't had a single accident at that location. So it worked, and my confidence was greatly improved by somebody like Andy O'Brien. Other things that we're getting from around the world is a different perspective on things. Really, we're in a people profession. We're talking about the way people behave and predicting that behavior and changing that behavior and understanding it and modifying it, because whether they're driving a car or riding a bike or walking or getting on a bus, it's people, and that's what's all around the world. So I've found in talking with our members from wherever they are that they really have the same kind of problems that we're all facing. It's just that sometimes different communities have a little different perspective on how they solve that. And by sharing that, either from collecting that from around the world and sharing it with our members here in North America, which we do very well, or sending our resources out to other parts of the world, that sharing of information makes us better professionals and really adds to the profession.
And that leads well into our final question for you today. Robert, ITE is over 80 years old. How are we poised to meet today's and tomorrow's challenges without falling into the rut of doing business as usual?
Well, Michelle, I just want to point out I haven't actually been here for all 80 of those years. But I think that, for one thing, we will always be relevant because of the new people coming into the profession. As long as we're meeting in sections and districts and chapters and talking about the problems of today and how to solve them, we're going to be relevant even though we have a very good past. The other thing is being able to attract students and young professionals that have kind of that energy and initiative that we really need to keep young as an organization. And I can tell you from last night when there were about 200 students up here in ITE headquarters, the future looks really bright. A lot of energy, a lot of capability right there. So we're going to stay young by being relevant in our local areas. But furthermore, ITE is not just a headquarters staff. And it's all about the people that are all around the world helping to make each other better. But we do have a responsibility as a board to look to the future, and I'm very proud to say that over the past 5 or 6 years, the board has developed a strategic plan, looking ahead and where we need to be down the road. And not only have we had that strategic plan, but last year we took the time to develop a prioritization to the objectives that are within each of those goals. If the members will look at my ITE Journal article in January, there's an outline of our strategic plan, our core values, and our mission, and what we see as a future for ITE as an organization. But once we took that and developed some objectives, we also prioritized those, and then Tom Brahms and the staff, you and your colleagues, took that and made a work plan for 2011 and an annual work plan that we're going to implement those changes. So that is going to be something that's going to help keep us relevant to what we need to do. We need the members' help in identifying what's going to help them do their job on a daily basis, and we need that input. But we're also looking at the future from the terms of the board and our understanding of what we see every day to move us forward to help meet the needs of our communities and make our profession better.
Well, thank you, Robert, for taking the time to speak with the membership today. And if you would like to find out more information about the topics we discussed today, please be sure to visit the ITE website at www.ite.org. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Michelle. It's been a pleasure.